It's the Daily Doug.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for being with me today. My friends, you have found me on a Monday. That means it is a Metal Monday, and I've got my shirt today, y'all. Metal makes Mondays better. This is my favorite Metal Monday shirt. You can find it in our merch store. This is my lucky shirt for Monday episodes. And, we've done a lot of great metal recently, but I wanted to get back to some more classic metal bands, and I couldn't think of a better band to get to today than Judas Priest. And I'm happy that you are here with me to hear this one. We're going to hear a song called Panic Attack. And I don't know if I'm going to have a panic attack while I listen to it, but I hope I don't. So for all of the metal music that we have been exploring here on the Daily Doug, especially on Metal Mondays, we've only done 6 episodes dedicated to music from Judas Priest, and I wanted to return to their music today, and we're going to hear this relatively new track from this classic heavy metal band. Panic Attack is the lead single and lead track from their latest album, the band's 19th, Invincible Shield, which was released in March of 2024. Of course, there are absolutely loads of back catalog albums and classic songs from this band that I could have looked into, but I gravitated towards this newer song for a few reasons. One, it's quite popular. It's doing very well for the band, and its lyrical message is one that I really gravitated towards when I read through the lyrics to this song. In this song, the band is talking about the internet, and not in a very good light. They are talking about how the internet, especially with social media, can lead us to receiving great amounts of misinformation or even disinformation and overly biased content. And it leads to propaganda and fear becoming pervasive. And they're not happy about it, y'all. Verse 1, take a look at how this starts off. They say, the clamor and the clatter of incensed keys. That's us doing our little typing, right? The clamor and the clatter of incensed keys can bring a nation to its knees. On the wings of a lethal icon, bird of prey, it's a sign of the times when bedlam rules, when the masses condone pompous fools, and the scales of justice tip in disarray. That's a lyric. Then it goes right into panic attack, panic attack. That's enough to make me have a panic attack, y'all. So I hope that I don't while I listen to this, but I'm going to enjoy, I think, hearing them talk about this and singing about this, and I'm curious to see how it sounds. So let's get to it. We're going to have Rob Halford on vocals, Glenn Tipton on guitars, Richie Faulkner is also on guitars, Ian Hill is on bass, and Scott Travis is on the drums. I'm going to be taking a look at the official video for this song, and I am ready to rock, y'all. Let's do it. This is Panic Attack from Judas Priest. Here we go. All right. Nice. Five, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Flat 6. Flat 7. 1. Big E flat minor. They got to be tuned down, right? Let's get it, y'all. That sounds great, too. They're in common time now.
The clamor and the clatter of incense keys can bring a nation
scales of justice tip in disarray. Hey. Sounds awesome, by the way. Rockin' song. Woo! Woo! They sound great! Rob, it's awesome. They move to the 5, B flat. Back to E flat and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is righteous, y'all. Back to the 5. G flat to D flat to E flat. Back to the main progression here. The dual guitars sound great. No way left to tell what's right from wrong. But there's still time left to do what's right. Eliminate those parasites. Holy shit! Digitally, criminally insane. And it goes up a step. Can't even think that high, Rob. So now we're in F minor. Holy shit, y'all. Are we sure? Are we sure that these guys are doing this song in 2023 and not like 40 something years earlier when they were young men? That's remarkable. That's remarkable. What a rockin' tune. That is. Okay, Metal Monday. Check. That's a metal tune, y'all. Holy buckets. A great song. I love the little bit of 7 in that opening riff. I love how long it took to introduce a song. Remember, this is the very beginning of the album, and they're getting you into it. They're getting you ready, and then off they go, man. Wow, my heart is beaten. Quite quickly. Wow, and what a message. y'all. I mean, come on. I already read you verse 1. In verse 2, it says, matters of fact fall on deaf ears, while the bitter mobs ramp up their fears, go creeping round those corridors of power. In the bridge, cynicism, greed is what you're fed, disconnecting from the World Wide Web. That's what we should be doing, right? And then in verse 3, it doesn't matter about your choice because all you've got is an empty voice. And I did check this one when they did it, and there's no way left to tell what's right from wrong. Whew. Wow. It's quite political, isn't it? Quite political. So just let me talk about this for a second. I've been a person who has avidly consumed political news since I was in high school. I remember taking civics, and I had a really great civics teacher. I really loved hearing about the checks and balances and the network of how the American way of governing, especially, was all knit together, federal, state, local, and how all of those things move together. Complex systems, analyzing and trying to understand complex systems is always what my mind has gravitated towards. That's why I love analyzing music, right? So I've been doing this for a long, long time. And I remember being in high school back in the 1990s and thinking to myself that the hatred and the bigoted lies that I was hearing, especially on AM radio, was going largely uncontested. And I was worried. I remember being worried that, in 30 or 40 years, my peers, the people that are my age now, are going to be, we're going to be 30 years older. And, us and our parents would have spent a lifetime ingesting fear-inducing bullshit, and it leads us to having no connection to the real world or actual reality. People that hear all that stuff, right? And now, in modern times, 2025, this mass delusion has been firmly implanted over decades via social media and now overtly via, biased mass media. And we hardly recognize friends anymore. I hardly recognize some family members anymore. These folks whose existence has just been sabotaged. Their concept of reality and what goes on around them has just been ruined, and it's a sad, sad thing. The lyrics in this song are so timely and they're so right on the money. I'm drawn back to verse 3 where they say that there's no way left to tell what's right and wrong. That's a line with which I think I disagree. I think deep down we still know right from wrong. I hope we do. God, I hope we do. It's just a matter of overcoming our fears and speaking truth to power when wrong overshadows what is right. We need to be tolerant. We need to be mindful of different points of view. But when it really gets out of whack, we need to stand up for what's true, and what can push us forward in a positive way and not continue to break us down in a negative way. Wow. Judas Priest, I hear you. That's a big time song. And it's well deserved. This reception to this album has been, as far as I can see, really quite positive. Many outlets ranked this album that this is from not only among the best albums of 2024, but among the better albums of Judas Priest's entire career. One reviewer remarked that 50 years on from their tentative first steps, Judas Priest have produced what may well be the most defiantly, unrelentingly triumphant record of their career. And I got to tell you, friends, I've heard some stuff throughout Judas Priest's career. That's my favorite thing I've ever heard from them. without any competition, I think. And even just on a first listen, I need to listen to it again to make sure. But holy crap, was it good, right? So on that note, y'all let me know. I really would like to continue on with Judas Priest and their music. Like I said, this is one of these classic metal bands who have been relatively underrepresented so far in what I've been doing here on the Daily Doug. So let me know which song of theirs I should get to next. If you want to know the ones that I have looked at before, just go to type in Judas Priest Daily Doug or Judas Priest Doug Helvering, and you'll see the ones that I've done so far. And just let me know which one that you think I would enjoy getting to next, and put that in the comments there for me. Whew, man, y'all, I'm sweating. Holy crap, that was a workout. So, yeah, I think Metal Mondays came through today, y'all, because holy crap, it is a Monday, and I'm feeling that, and that was a metal song if I've ever heard one. So, I think we're off to a good start this week. Y'all, we've heard Judas Priest and their song called Panic Attack, and I think I'm better for it. I'm really uplifted by their message and how emphatic they are with that message and the sounds in this song. I really, really loved it. I hope you did as well. Thanks for hanging out with me on this Metal Monday. We'll see you next time on another edition of the Daily Doug.